And the tree actually has really weird gravity tied to it. So if you bump against the tree, Sonic will like stand backward, stand like sideways. And if you boost, this happens. You boost all the way upwards, and so you don't need the eagle. Okay. Let's dig in. We're not watching this. We don't need to see this. It's basically me explaining it. But what it comes down to, this video that we're about to watch is... I know you loved it. Shut up. This video that we're about to watch is a compilation of every single Shadow Generations main stage ran as fast as we have ever done, with an asterisk, because it's not actually for some of these, but for most of them it's the fastest we've ever done it. And we put them all in a big compilation to finally satisfy us completing this game. Now I know Jerome is so lost in the sauce that he's still running this game despite having mastered every stage, because he wants to get 6 out of 6, which means he wants to get the record on every stage. And to do that, he would need to beat my time on Sunset Heights, Chaos Island, and Radical Highway, because I have the records on those, which means currently both of us have 3 out of 6. He has 3 and I have 3. He's been grinding Sunset Heights because it seems to be... Well, Radical Highway is the easiest, but he knows he can get that one. Sunset Heights seems to be a little bit trickier, but he thinks he can do it. And then Chaos Island is the hardest one by far. But he's been grinding Sunset Heights for a couple of hours, trying to get this record. And he doesn't have it yet, but it's more of a matter of time type of thing than anything. But yeah, he's still grinding. He's still on it. But his best records are in this video too. There is a little bit of I don't know, what would you call it? There's a little bit of a nice aspect in discovering who ran what. Because as you can see, Flawberry is in this video. Mellow is in this video, which I think only Robert knows about. We watched a video of Mellow a couple of streams ago. And then Jerry is in this video and I am in this video. Basically, that's all I explain here. That this is just a compilation of the fastest stages. We don't need to watch it in 4K, by the way. We can just watch it in normal HD. Yeah, let's just... I'm going to start it a little bit early just so I have the volume okay. Back and forth between each other, but I decided, you know what we should do? Okay, the volume is okay. I don't want to hear myself anymore. Let's get into Space Colony. So the way we're just going to do this is I'm going to just let it play per stage. And then after the stage is over, I'm probably going to go back and talk a little bit about what goes into this stage and what makes it so difficult. Things that we learned, things that we discovered, tricks that are very hard. Basically going over what makes it so impressive. Because just looking at it, I think doesn't quite do it justice enough. But we'll let it play first. So let's just see what we ran. And hopefully, just hopefully, you enjoy how far we brought this game. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video.
I'll take all of you on.
Alright, Jerry. Jerry opens up the video with Space Colony Arc. You might be worried about the video things we found very hard. What is up with your mind today? Do you need to release yourself a little bit, Hedon? What's going on, man? Beautiful. This, I mean, this is the most contested stage that we have between the two of us. It's probably the hardest one to get the record on, I would say. I mean, this is a beautiful run. This run is incredible. It's very impressive. Damn, this one is a good player, not Jeeves. Where can I watch this streamer instead of watching Jeeves? Just hop into our calls, you know, we play almost every evening. And we're always screen sharing, so if you want to see cool Jerry, you should come hang out with us. You are in my server. But it's understandable. I mean, he's really good. Gets to the rocket at 50.95, which is just... I've never been here with 50 on the clock. The lowest I've been is a very low 51. I've never seen a 50. And he got here at 50.95. It's insane. But don't tell that like, I don't want people to think I like being around you. I don't even think you like being around me. I'm not really on this server, it's more of a meme really. Ah. Yeah, kills the bots. Stomp. Yeah. 112. I might have seen a 112 here. I can't remember exactly. It's not really a checkpoint for me, this. Hits the Do My section at a very high 118, I think it was. May have been a 119. It's about the halfway point, but if you get here, the stage is basically over. Because the second half of this stage is really easy. Really, really easy. The only thing that's pretty hard is at the end, but I'll go over that once we get there. Because for now, he's just running in a straight line. This is a little bit unoptimized even. That's interesting.
My latest creation.
I think he just wasn't really too focused on optimizing a straight path, but yeah, there was some time to be gained there. Alright, jumps onto the last row, goes into the final section of the stage. A little bit of a laugh from Doomai, because why not? Big jump.
The promised time will arrive once more. You cannot deny your fate.
Kills these last 5 enemies, and that's the end of the stage.
We shall meet again, Shadow.
So he does something at the end here too, which I think is also slower. But it is a lot safer.
Was him.
And if you are on record pace, I get going for something and that's a little bit slower. So 3:16:49. It's not the record. He does have a faster time. Jerry. Not even anyone else. It's just Jerry that has a faster time than this still. It's not the record, but it's really close. The record is like a 3:16:11 or something. So it's like 300 milliseconds faster than what this was. Which I added at the end of the video. Oh, it's a 41. Okay, well. Then it's like, what? It's basically the same. Okay, it's like 80 milliseconds. Okay, well, I mean, pretty much the same thing. Incredible run. Incredible run. There's a couple of things that he didn't do ideally, but I mean, I don't think I can recreate this in hours of grinding this shit. It's diabolical. The start is pretty uninteresting, I think. The start is pretty self-explanatory. There's not a lot of tricks. Oh yeah, one thing I should point out here, because this has changed a little bit.
How far we brought this game.
I should change the timestamps because I'm talk shit.
I'll take all of you on.
So something he does at the start here, which you should keep track of, is as soon as he gets from this rail, he kills 2 enemies here instead of just trying to get to that spring immediately. And there's a very good reason for this. There's also a good reason why he doesn't kill the 3rd one. You need to kill 5 enemies to stop time, which means that before we get to a box that helps us also stop time, we need to be able to kill 5 enemies. And so instead of killing 3 here, we actually kill 2 here, instead of all 3 of them. So he kills the first 2, and then he goes to the right immediately. He skips that last one. We don't need it. So now he's at 2 out of 5. And this is pretty straightforward. Goes here. Skips a little bit of that section. I mean, it's not too interesting. then here he does something crazy. So here are the last 3 enemies that we need to kill. And usually when you want to kill enemies with Shadow, you homing attack them. And you homing attack all 3 of them and you move on. What Jerry does is Jerry uses the air boost. Because we need to jump over this ledge anyway. We need to get some height here. Which means we are in the air. And if you're in the air, you can boost. For a quick air boost. And now he's lining up as we speak. He's already thinking about this before he even gets to that point. So if we go back a little bit. He's lining up his air boost. Right here. He's going all the way to the right here. Instead of just going straight. And the reason for that is because of this. He jumps and in a diagonal line, air boosts into those 2 enemies. To skip having to homing attack them. Which looks like this. Boom. And then, because he is still airborne, he can homing attack to the last enemy. Because you need to be airborne for that to happen. So if you look at this fast. Lines up, boost, airborne homing attacks, stomps, boosts off the stage towards here. This is insanely difficult. To get that, and he does it consistently. It's incredible. The reason we need Chaos Control at this point, by the way, the reason we have to kill 5 enemies up until here, is because, if I hide my my guy, is because the boost meter is out. And so, we use Chaos Control to freeze time for 6 seconds, yes, and that does save time for 6 seconds. But it also refreshes your boost meter. So if he presses Chaos Control here, his boost meter is now back up to full. So he can boost again. So there's 2 reasons for it. One is to get 6 seconds of time stop. The other is to get the boost back. Because we used to kill these 3 bots. But that meant that we didn't have boost earlier. Which was slower. But these used to be the bots that we would kill. Now these don't matter anymore. We just kill them because they are in the way. Okay. Now, here's a time stop box, which automatically refills Chaos Control. As soon as he picks this up, he's on a timer all the way up until that cannon at the back end. He needs to find these boxes spread out throughout the stage, and he needs to find them within 6 seconds of each other, constantly. As soon as he hits this box, he's on the timer of 6 seconds, constantly. Up until the cutscene. So he hits this box. Spring, grabs the pulley over here. Timer is running slow, but there's another box here. So he just refreshed it. As soon as this 1 second is over, he has another refresh. Boom, refresh. There's another box here. Refresh. And so he can keep going and he can keep freezing time constantly. There's another box here, another refresh. And he keeps freezing time all the way till this cutscene. And so he makes it to this cutscene. And he freezes time here one last time at 50 seconds 95. Which, as I said before, is incredible. This is incredible. I've never seen a 50. And I have 160 hours in this game. It's incredibly impressive. Now here is standard cutscene. Nothing we can do about this. It's just what we have to do. And this is pretty straightforward. You just get this upper path here. It's like what you would usually do, really. You kill these enemies. This is all super straightforward. It's the basic path. Okay, and now you're up here. So he does it here again, where he boosts into this first enemy, but that's not the impressive part about here, about this. So he boosts into him, so he doesn't have to homing attack him. Then he homing attacks the second and the third guy. And then he goes here. Now usually you would take this spring, and the spring would take you on this rail that goes around. But as you can see, this rail ends up behind this barrier. So something that we discovered is that you can just jump over the spring. And then if you time it just right, you can stomp and land on the rail that's behind it. Now this rail is very thin. It's super thin. Which means that this stomp, the timing that you have for this is about 2 frames to land this stomp. But he manages to get it, of course. So he stomps on the rail to skip that spring. And he keeps going. Now here we discovered that you need to hit a bumper at the very end there. And we discovered you can just jump off the rail here to get to that. Like he does. Pretty self-explanatory skip here. And we get to do my section, which we can skip safely. And then all of this is relatively uninteresting. It's pretty self-explanatory stuff. Now this is the final part that's very hard to do. Because this might look easy, this jump that he does. But what he's doing here to get this amount of momentum is he's holding backwards on the joystick. Which you would think that holding backwards would slow you down. But actually it speeds you up in this game. Which is very interesting. But because he's holding backwards, he has to do his inputs mirrored. So he has to hold down left to go up right. Which not only fucks with your muscle memory from what you're used to. But also, it isn't quite that simple either. Because this section of the stage has a gravitational pull that is tied to this building's curve. Which means that because this curve is kind of going in a diagonal line like here, and you're a little bit on an angle diagonally, you're actually not even holding down left here to go up right. You're more so holding down right-ish to go up right-ish. It's just, you need to play against the gravitational pull of this building while also doing it mirrored while holding backwards on your joystick to get this jump. If you haven't played this, you will never understand how fucking weird this feels. But he does it really well. And it speeds him up a very good amount to get to this last part. Now I said that he did something that's a little bit slower here, which is that he stomps here and boosts backwards. This stomp is a little bit slower than just air boosting, but I mean he's on a record pace right now, so I understand the consistency here. And then the rest is just self-explanatory. You just go towards the finish line. Yeah, that's space quality. Now this stage is the most finicky stage in the game. But man, incredible run. Yeah, good job to Jerry for this, and I'm glad he got this for the video. It's very nice. So yeah, let's go to the next stage. Let's see what the next stage has in store for us. A lot less interesting of a stage, I will say.
Can't you grind there if you jump on that?
Okay, let's do this.
Jerry again! Jerry again! Another Jerry clip. So Rail Canyon. Rail Canyon is far less interesting than Space Colony is. A lot of the skips that you are seeing in this stage are really self-explanatory. I used to hold the record on this stage. He took it from me, but I mean this stage is relatively unoptimized. So this can go back and forth pretty easily still. I'll go into the tech after we've seen the run, but the tech in this stage is a lot quicker, a lot less interesting than Space Colony. It's also, well, it's pretty long actually. I was gonna say it's also not as long as Space Colony, but I think it might be. Cool trick there. I hadn't seen that before. But I guess he discovered that on his own. Interesting maneuver here, which we're gonna talk about when we get to Metal Overlord, because in Metal Overlord it's a lot more interesting than it is here. But there's a similar trick in that boss fight, so we'll get there once we get there. Into the Do My section, probably the least interesting Do My section in the entire game.
You again.
Something that's unique about this Do My section is that you can grind on the bridge that's coming up, which I don't know if he does. Oh, he does. Yeah, grinds on this bridge to get to this section. Gets into the Skyfall section, the Skydive section. Skydive to the left here. Gotta hold up. Slide under there. Yep. Who the fuck is Jerry? Cool Jerome.
I'm getting answers from you one way or another.
Very good, Shadow. Come to me if you can.
Ah, this is all super self-explanatory. Just falling down here.
I've done Shadow, but it's still not enough.
Into the final stretch of the stage.
What did he mean?
Scripted? Wait, what are we talking about? And then you just grind some rails towards the ending of the stage. Now, something he does here is keep the chaos control, which I thought was interesting, but it makes sense to me why he does. Mostly to refill his boost. It's a little bit more consistent. Yeah, like that. And then onto the goal ring. Beautiful. Good run. No real major mistakes. Just some optimization things that could go better. But nevertheless, a beautiful run. I think so at least. Little bit of real canyon tech.
Jump on that?
Okay, let's do this.
So one thing that he immediately starts doing, which he does a little bit more in a second, is Jerome was actually the one to discover this. If you're going down on rails in this game, you go faster when you hop rails. So he's gonna be hopping rails as long as he keeps going down, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because apparently that's faster. It's a little bit peculiar, but that's why he does it. This is all really self-explanatory. We found this skip. It's not too difficult. Not too interesting either. So he found this, homing attacking to that guy immediately, which is clever. I didn't think about that. Here's a little bit of a trick, which we'll talk about later. Yeah, nothing too special for Rail Canyon.
You again.
Goes up here, makes sense. Goes to the bridge. Now, one thing that's interesting about these falling sections is you actually Dr. Doom will like fucking change gravity very often. So right now we're going what seems to be downwards. But in a second, Doom Eye will take us towards the left. So what he's doing is he's lining up all the way to the left, so he doesn't have to make that distance if he were to be here. So he doesn't have to fall longer. So he's going left now because he's going to be pulled leftwards. Like that. And now, right now, we're going to end up at the top here, on this part of the bridge. So what he's going to do now is he's going to try holding up as much as he can. So he's going to be pulled towards that faster once we get to that point. Yeah, like that. And so he ends there a little bit quicker. And this is all
I'm getting answers
pretty self-explanatory.
Very good, Shadow. Come to me if you can.
And then one last thing here. So you are stuck in a Skyfall animation in which you can't use your basic moveset. But we discovered that if you attack Doom Eye, you actually get taken out that Skyfall animation, which means you get control over your basic moveset again. So that's why we attack Doom Eye here. Otherwise it would be slower. But what he's gonna do now is, as soon as he hits Doom Eye, he's going to double jump and he's going to aim for this railing that's on the right here, that underneath the path where Doom Eye is, and he's gonna aim for that and he's gonna stomp on it because apparently, so this doesn't work for me. It works for Jerome. If he stomps on a rail like this, he gets zoomed. He gets like zipped towards the end of this, and it looks really weird. So he's gonna jump, stomp, hits the railing, and then bloop, he's gonna be at the end. This is not what's supposed to happen, but it's
Enough.
I mean, it's
Did he mean?
weird. And then the end of the stage is really self-explanatory. Yeah, here he's gonna be hopping between rails again because he's going downwards. It's a little bit faster. Stops time to refill his boost. Gets towards the end of the stage. Cool. Gets a record. Actual record run. Next up, the Bio Lizard.
Shadow, we're in this one together. I'll take care of it.
Let's take a look first.
You tortured soul. I will end your suffering. It's no use. You can't keep pace with me.
So we're watching Mellow now. Good friend of mine. Has a YouTube channel, Marshmallow. It's in the bottom left of your screen right now. Go check him out if you want to see some more. He's very nice. Now that I think of it, why didn't you include in the video the Act 2s? We didn't think the Act 2s were really interesting.
Your energy is still unstable. Even harder to light.
That's the first hit. Needs to hit him, I think 4 times, maybe 5. I think it's 4. Now this boss fight, probably the easiest boss in the game. Pretty confidently. There's a little bit of tech here.
You think those will stop
Some tech that Mellow didn't apply, so you won't be seeing it in this video. But Mellow is just gonna show you a little bit of a solid Bio Lizard gun, realistically. Mellow wasn't as invested into speedrunning as we all were, but I asked him to be in the video anyway, because I wanted to give Mellow a shout out, and what better way to do it than to put him in a video like this. Tja, I gave him the Bio Lizard. Easiest boss, but nevertheless, his time was good. His time is within 1 second of our times, so that makes it pretty good. I gave him a goal. I said you need to finish it in 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and he was like, "Yeah, I can do that." And so he started grinding for it a bit, which is very cool. And then he actually did it twice even. There we go. On to the final stage of the Bio Lizard. A very straightforward boss. There's not a lot of tech to explain for this one. There's like a very small trick, but I mean I can't show it right now because Mellow didn't do it. Getting these chaos spears on these balls to grab your chaos control, because you're gonna need it, because he's gonna do this big giant ball that you need to freeze time for to hit him back with. Oh my god. Nice. Hit these last couple of balls, get to his back, finish him off. Now remember when I said that I gave him a time limit of 2:34? Look at this final time here. (2:34.99). Not a millisecond to spare. Well, maybe 10 milliseconds to spare. But he actually had a faster time than this too, but I couldn't upload it because there was no audio for it, which was a little bit unfortunate. But he does have a little bit of a better record than this, but still. Yeah, shout out to Mellow. This is his one appearance, but I love him. Great guy. Great guy. Alright, moving on. Who's next?
Leave it up to you, Sonic. Leave it to me.
Jeremiah! He's back! He's back for more. Jeremiah on Kingdom Valley. Probably the hardest stage in the game. Not probably, confidently the hardest stage in the game to run. Jeremiah doesn't just do it well though. Jeremiah destroys it. This run is insane. I'm very glad he got this run. And there's a lot to talk about for Kingdom Valley. This run is incredible. A lot of tech, a lot of tricks, a lot of everything in this stage. And I mean, just even looking at it, it just looks like, holy moly. It's impressive to look at. Yep, jump. Get up here. Little trick that I discovered. We'll get into all the tricks and stuff after this. Let me eat a cookie real quick while this plays. I'm a little bit hungry. Okay. There's a lot of skips in this section of the stage. But we didn't have access to it. Because all of it is kind of tied to exploits and stuff. Which we banned for our video. It's a little bit unfortunate because you can do a lot of cool stuff in this stage. But it also breaks it a lot. So we're just kind of forced to take the normal path here. Very unfortunate though. Long stage too. This stage is particularly difficult because it doesn't have a do-by section. And the do-by sections are usually the easiest part of any stage. But this one doesn't have a do-by section. But it does, it is quite lengthy. It's one of 3 stages that does not have a do-my section. One of 2 stages that is difficult because of it. Into the final stretch. We just saw Kingdom Valley earlier, by the way. Good to see Kingdom Valley again. Seems we can't get rid of it. Onto the goal ring. I think he gets a 211 here. Or a 210. 210.59. Incredible. Incredible. I think this is... Ooh, do I still have it open? Yeah, it's 3 seconds faster than my Kingdom Valley. Which is, I mean, I don't even know how he saved 3 seconds. It's incredible. He discovered lots of tech himself too. To start out, he discovered you can go to the left here and ignore that bumper in the distance. To just immediately homing attack towards this thing. Which I didn't even know you could do. But he got that. From here it's pretty ordinary. He discovered you can skip the eagle here. Jump up there. Very impressive. Hello B, how are you? Then he jumps out here to hit this enemy. And as soon as he hits this enemy, he's gonna boost backwards. And he's gonna do that so he can hit all the other enemies as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which means he now has hit 5 enemies. Which means he can stop time. How's life going, friend? Life is going great. How about yours? So he stops time here. And then he hits 5 enemies here again. Which means he can do it again after this. Now here's a little silly trick. I think we saw this in a speedrun. I'm very thankful cursing is allowed here. Yes, of course. I think we saw this in a speedrun. There's a tree to the left of this eagle. Usually you're supposed to take the eagle. And the eagle brings you upwards. There's a tree to the left of it. And the tree actually has really weird gravity tied to it. So if you bump against the tree, Sonic will like stand like sideways. And if you boost, this happens. you boost all the way upwards. And so you don't need the eagle. Saving you like at least 6 seconds. Incredibly fast. Goes into the water. Now, once you're in the water, you have to... you can only boost once. Bro, you're smart with games there. It's not just me. It's not me playing at the moment. It's not me playing. You can only boost once when you're in the water. And boosting gives you a shit ton of speed. But something we've discovered is if you dash left and right, you preserve the momentum that you get from the boost. So we need to do that as much as we can. So he's gonna hit the water here. He's going to boost and then left, right, left, left, right, left, right to preserve that boost momentum. He's gonna do it again here. Boost, boost, left, 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 left. All the way until he's out of the water. Now here's a little silly thing that I found, which is that there's 5 enemies in the distance, which is enough to stop time. But there's also some enemies hidden to the left out here. So usually we would just go straight through them and move on with our lives. But now, we kill these 5 enemies. We get our stop time for 6 seconds. And then you go out to the left here to kill these as well. Left, right, left, left. Keep that momentum going. You gotta be fast here. You have tips about Resident Evil. I don't like the Resident Evil games. I'm sorry. I don't like them. Okay, so here's an interesting part. Jerome freezes time for 6 seconds here. And he moves on with his life. Now, we've discovered that there's a pillar here. Which you can do something similar on this pillar as you can do with the tree. It technically saves time. But it's incredibly hard to do so. I think I do it. So Jerome decides against it because it saves less than half a second. Which means it's not worth going for because of how hard it is. But in this video, I think I go for it. I'm not sure. Yeah, I do. So this pillar, you can stand on sideways just as the tree before. And you can do this. Going all the way up and hitting the enemy from there. Now Jerome is not going to do this. Instead he's going to just move forward. Like this. And instead what he's going to do is he's going to kill 5 enemies here so he can freeze time again. Essentially bringing us down towards the same time frame. But what I did saves like half a second. He's going to do it this way though, which means he gets here at 1 minute and 9 seconds, which is a time that I've never seen. That's how fast he is right now. But we're hitting water again, which means we gotta do jump, left, left, right, right, left, 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 right, left, right. To preserve that momentum. Getting here. Skips a little bit of that, but not too interesting. We've discovered that you can actually go to this downwards path without being killed off. Like usually when you fall off a map, they kill you off. Not in this game. So you can go towards this downwards path. And you can stomp there to make it incredibly fast. So he's gonna stomp here, stomp again, make it there, immediately moves on. Skips an entire section, saves like 6 seconds as well. Is this robot? This is pretty self-explanatory. And from here on out, it's just a normal path for a while. This is all normal. Then here, boom, we hit the water. You know what that means. Left, 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 right. He does it pretty slowly here. But there's a reason why he does it slowly here. It's not because he's a bad player. The reason he does it slowly here is because we're tied. Do you see this enemy? We need him. So if we are too fast, we move past this enemy. We can't let that happen. So instead, we have to slow down here a little bit so this enemy can keep up with us. So the enemy stays close to Jerome. Until eventually... he gets here, and this is where he uses him. Because he's gonna use this enemy to bump himself towards this higher path here. Now, this is the only awkward part about this stage. We need to wait for that enemy to give us our freeze time before we boost through this crate. There's a reason we do this. I can't explain all of it right now. But just know that's why he's standing still here. Because he's waiting for the enemy that he just killed to give him his freeze time. So he waits. Boom, now he goes. And then towards the final stretch, which is also not too interesting, I think. Yeah, usually we would take these bumpers here. We discovered that if you stand on this ledge, you actually have enough height to just homing attack towards this rope. Pretty fast. And then on towards the final sprint, towards the finish line. Skipping the last enemy here, one last little tech we found. Hits the ring, 210, incredible run. Like I said, it's 3 seconds faster than I have ever done. It's hard to put into words just how good this is. We're going over all the tech right now, all the techniques he used, all the tricks. But that's still making it seem easier than it is. It's incredibly impressive. Sadly, this is the last we'll see from Jerome. But yeah, I mean, very thankful that he wanted to record this all for me. Because it's super cool to have this in a video like this. So thanks to Jerry for doing all of this, for getting these incredible records. Yeah, that was Kingdom Valley. Let's move on.
It's all yours.
I'll finish in a flash.
To a familiar person! Jeeves! Who might that be? On Sunset Heights. My second favorite stage in the game. I get to play a stage for once. Crazy, isn't it? Far less interesting than seeing Jerome play the game. But I do have the record on this stage. So I have to make an appearance as well. I do some things a little bit slowly here, but that's okay. You're tied to a cycle here anyway. Very cool tech there. I love that tech. I love a lot of the tech that goes on in this stage. It's a very cool stage to run, I think. Which is why it's my second favorite. I'll go over my own tech a little bit more briefly, I think. Don't want to stick around on my own sections too much. There's other people we can look at. But yeah, I'll talk about my the tech that I used after we've seen the entire run as per usual. Incredibly consistent stage, Sunset Heights. This is probably the most consistent one to run. That doesn't make it easy though. Just means that all the tricks are reliable. Still hard. Have to do an awkward little wait section here. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. We just need that because we need another stop time. And then onto the do my section. I get here at a 53, which is super fast. Have to watch a little cutscene. Yeah, we're not playing in Shadow, but close enough. Probably the hardest do my section in the game. Also quite an interesting one. Really happy about that. These do my sections are usually really boring. This one in particular is pretty fun.
So, you think this will stop me?
Because this one is all about ring management. Or boost management, I should say. I'll go about it. I'll go a little bit in depth into it after we've seen the entire thing. Second part. Jump here. Yeah. Oh, it's like ingrained in my muscle memory. It's like I feel like I'm playing it myself at the moment. Second enemy. This is a very dangerous part. They're saying you're a baddie in the comments, by the way. What? I'll believe you.
You've come along quite nicely. It ends here.
Jump. And that's it. We ignore Doomai in this Doomai section. You can just run past him, no problem. Just keep going. Last trick, onto the goal ring. I think it's a 243? 253? Yeah. 253. Very fast. Very fun stage. Very, very fun. A little bit of tech talk. First thing, this is the only stage in which we are allowing air sliding. Because it's practically built for this stage. Air sliding preserves some momentum in the air as well, just like the Chaos Spear does. But the requirement is that you start from the ground. Which is a requirement that Chaos Spear momentum doesn't have. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're about to see it very quickly. As soon as I jump off this ledge over here, I'm doing a slide, which this animation shows, which preserves a little bit of my my speed. Which means I can jump further, I mean. And because I jump further, I can make it to this enemy. Now there's a path of 5 enemies here, but they are spread out from left to right, which is very awkward. So what you need to do here is you need to quick step left and right to hit all 5 of them. Which, I mean, it goes by very fast. So stomp, right, left, right, hit all 5 enemies, because that gives me my stop time. Very hard. And then from here, pretty self-explanatory. A little bit of an air slide there. I don't know if you got it. But it is faster. Up until here, we're trying to kill all the enemies again to get another chaos control, which means I get to stop time again. Now, right now I have 3 of them. This is an interesting part. We are stuck behind this cycle of this spinning blade, which means we either get towards the end of this path at 25 seconds or 24. In this run, it's at 25 because, well, 24 is tied behind some exploits, which we banned. So I get there at 25 seconds, but I still need to kill 2 enemies. And they actually are very awkward here. Because there's one enemy here, but there's one enemy there. But there's a big gap in the middle of it. So one thing that I discovered is that the boost actually gives you enough speed to make this gap without even jumping. Like, the boost is so fast, it just blitzes over it like it's Mario Brothers. So what I do is I go for the first enemy on the left here. I stomp and I boost towards the right. And then, because I'm facing right, it's a little bit awkward. So what I do is as soon as I hit the enemy, I stop boosting. And I boost immediately again towards the pulley. And I need to aim right for it because I'm fast. Which looks like this. So right towards the pulley. And that kills that final enemy. And it moves me on to the next section. Get there at 27:66, which was very fast. I was very happy with this run so far. And this is pretty self-explanatory. We do a little bit of an air slide here. Boom, right there. Preserve some momentum. Go into the sewers. In the sewers, nothing too interesting happens. We're using this enemy to get to the top left here, but it's pretty much intended, so that's not too special. We do an air slide here. Preserve some momentum. Now, this is interesting. You might be wondering why I'm not homing attacking on these guys. It's because time is frozen. And when time is frozen, if you homing attack an enemy, it doesn't insta-kill them. Because the enemies are supposed to, like, ragdoll away and eventually die. If you slide into them, though, that doesn't happen. They do instantly die. Which I need to. I need to kill all 3 of them to bring this pulley down. So I need to slide kill them so they die instantly while time is frozen. So slide, slide, slide. Pulley comes down. I can help myself up. Now here I need to wait because I want one more freeze time to save myself 6 seconds. There's gotta be 2 ghosts that spawn on the left and the right here. Which is 2 of the 5 I need. And then these will be the last 3 that I need. Gives myself another chaos control. Freeze time 6 seconds. And we move on. To Mario. Starts out pretty boring. Just some rail grinding. Not too interesting.
Will stop me.
Now there's a bumper in the box over there. So we can just bump into that. Go up here. Not too interesting.
A sight to behold.
This is all pretty straightforward. Jump here to avoid the spikes. Now this is an interesting part. So I'm catching these last couple of rings. And right now I'm going to be boosting. But I'm actually going to stop boosting. Right as I hit this updraft of the rail. And the reason I'm gonna stop boosting is because my boost bar is not infinite. I need to be tactical about my boost here. So I'm going to stop boosting here. Then I'm going to boost here to get on this rail. And you can't quite see it, but in the bottom left, you can see my boost bar behind all this nonsense. And it's about to run out, and I need to collect rings to catch it again. And they are right there. So the reason I stopped boosting earlier is to get this much boost. Make sure I have enough boost right underneath my mouse cursor to make it to those rings. Because if I kept boosting, I wouldn't have been able to. So I had to stop boosting like 5 seconds earlier. So I could get to these rings and refill my boost. Go towards the left here. Get all these rings. Get my boost up to speed. Now here's a trick. There's a rail that's right on the roof of like this line that you see here. That I'm trying to get on. But I actually don't get it in this video. It's not faster. It's the same speed. The only issue is that now I'm in a little bit of distress because now I need rings. Because I'm gonna run out of boost. Because as you can see, there's rings up here. Like 10 rings. Which would have refilled my boost bar. But yeah, I missed this. So I need a backup. And the backup is to grab the rings over here. Go towards the left here. Get this. And then I need to do this this movement where I goes with the curve. Because this curve has rings, as you can see. So I do this movement to bring myself up. And then I jump. Grab these rings. And that gives me enough to still make it anyway. Without missing any boost. So the same speed. It's just a little bit more difficult. Because you need to do a little bit of a backup strat. But it worked out well for me. And I get a 253. Very satisfying time. I was very happy with this. But it is optimizable. I'm sure Jerome can get there. Now, second boss fight. New phase. Metal Overlord. Probably the coolest boss fight in the game. Just because Metal Overlord is such a badass. Let's look at it first. Who's our player? Who is it? Flawberry? What's he doing in my video? Mr. Flawberry made it in? What the heck? Flawberry did an insane Metal Overlord.
Don't reveal that. You'll be joining the rubble in the water soon.
Banger song, by the way, too. Absolutely banger song. Very cool tech for this boss fight in particular. There's a couple of things to talk about. Gets towards this trail of rings. Enters the second phase. He's making quick work of this boss. Cutscene is over.
Let's see how long you last on such unstable terrain.
From here on out, the boss is basically unoptimizable. It's always the same for everyone. There's one more little trick you can do. It's pretty hard too. But other than that, you're kinda stuck. Waiting for the boss. To the left here, and then one final trick to make quick work of this boss.
I am the king of all creation. Nobody can defeat me. Not you, not Sonic, not anyone.
Freeze time here. And there you go. Metal Overlord in 1:55. Almost 10 seconds faster than either me or Jerry has it. The amount of time Flawberry has put into this boss is commendable, to say the least. He has the second fastest time worldwide right now, which is insane. Absolutely insane. Diabolical run. Very happy he was willing to participate and enter the video. 155.56. I don't know if it's still his record. It might be. Not entirely sure, actually. He might have done even faster by now. But yeah, 155.56. Incredible. Cool tech for this boss in particular. Revolves around the momentum preservation that we saw in Kingdom Valley as well. Where these rings actually act as sort of a boost. So you can preserve the momentum from these rings as well. Which he's gonna do by going left, right, and also jumping. Which also preserves it. So he's gonna go left and then jump to preserve that momentum. And then these rings act the same way. So he's gonna be either jumping or moving, dashing left and right constantly to preserve this momentum. As you can see, so jump, left, right, jump, left, right, jump, left, right, jump, left, right, constantly. He doesn't stop this, ever. Right up until there, because that's when he needs to stop it. That's hard. That's incredibly hard. Because you need to hit rubble to damage the boss fight. So you can't just be focusing on the momentum. You need to be focusing on the rubble that you need to hit in the water as well. Which is... it's a lot. But he does it incredibly well. He hits all the rubble here. And then one more time, hits these rings, and he's gonna go again. Jump, left, right, 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 jump, left, right. Constantly to preserve this momentum. Now he's gonna do something interesting here. Which we also saw in Rail Canyon, but I didn't want to talk about it then. He's going to stop Chaos Control here. Chaos Control is a 6-second timer. Which means that in 6 seconds from now, time will continue again. But there's a trail in the distance. And that trail acts as a cutscene. Sort of. So as long as you are in that trail, time cannot continue. Which means, if you hit that trail while time is at 0.1 or something, you can keep being in frozen time longer than 6 seconds. So he's going to stop time here. And in 6 seconds, he's going to hit that trail. He's going to go towards that trail. Here it is, that's what he's aiming for. 0.4 seconds left on his timer. And now he hits the trail. And this trail is about 2 seconds long. Which means, realistically, he freezes time for, what is that, 7.4 seconds? Rather than 6. Which saves 1.4 seconds. It's a little bit tricky to understand. But just know that this trail extends the time freeze. Which saves him time here.
I'll steal you.
Gets out the trail now. Goes into the second phase. The second phase is really self-explanatory. You just keep dashing right and you'll win, basically.
Not much to show.
Like this. One thing you can do at the very end here. Metal Overlord is gonna throw this giant ship. And you need to hit this with your Chaos Spears, which is the ordinary way of doing this. But there's this big explosion, and there's gonna be rubble falling from the sky here. That rubble is manually timed, which means that as soon as the scene switches towards this rubble coming out of the air, you want to stop time. But that's pretty hard to guess. You can be greedy here. Have you guys ever taken like a reaction test and you want to be greedy? Like you have to wait until the thing goes red, but you want to be greedy and you want to like think that you timed it a little bit earlier so that it seems like your reaction time is super fast. That's basically this. Like as soon as the scene switches, he's gonna want to freeze time. But you can be greedy and try to like guess when it's about to switch. You know what I mean? To be a little bit faster than what your reflexes allow for.
Not anyone.
So, boom. Now he freezes it. Could he have done it faster? Maybe. This was very fast. So fast, in fact, that Shadow is gonna go over the screen. Because that's how high up the rubble is. It's about as fast as he could have done it. Very impressive. And that's his boss fight. Next up,
Thanks.
stage.
Perhaps I can return the favor.
No, not Yeeves again. No, we don't like seeing Yeeves here. This is my favorite stage in the game. Probably the stage I've spent the most time on. So true, fuck that guy, real. I have time to read the comment. What? You're lying? Maybe I need to refresh it. Let me go over the tech of this stage after. This stage is also unique like Kingdom Valley in the way that it doesn't have a do-my section. And not having a do-my section means that the stage is hard. Because there's no time to breathe in a stage without a do-my section. So you're stuck playing your very best all the way until the finish line. And this stage is also relatively long. Same for Kingdom Valley. I think Kingdom Valley is a little bit longer. But yeah. Definitely a difficult stage. Onto the latter half of the stage. Probably the hardest part of it. Or maybe it's just because you get here less often than the beginning. Actually, no, the middle part is the hardest. There's a lot of tech that goes into this stage. Banger song though. Yeah. Did this relatively slow, but not too bad. Onto the goal ring. There we go. 128, pretty sure? Yeah. I get a 128 in this video. 128.38 is actually not my record. My record is a 127 something. It's over a second faster than this. It is at the end of the video as well. Same for Jeremy's Space Colony. Yeah, I got a 127.23, but it didn't make it past quality control because it was also a muted video. Unfortunate. Let's talk about the stage. Beginning, relatively uninteresting. We're just trying to kill 5 enemies so that we can stop time. Which we're doing here. Now, one thing that this stage has, which no other stage has, are these switches that we need to hit from time to time. There's a switch here. And to hit a switch, you need to use Chaos Spears. Which is a button you wouldn't have to press in any other stage. But I need to think about these. Because I need to throw Chaos Spears at this to spawn things that I need to help me get through the stage. So right here I'm Chaos Spearing. Right there. And then I boost because this switch is gonna spawn enemies for me. There they go. Freeze time here. Get started on my second Chaos Control. Killing those 3 enemies. And then the last 2 are gonna be up here. There we go. That's the second. Boom. Stop time there. Now, technically you're supposed to take the squid here and then take the squid down there again, but we discovered you can just jump over there. Do a squid jump here. Move on. Here's a little bit of a trick, which was a very late discovery from us. And quite the embarrassing one at that. We discovered that actually loops are slow, because you have to run through the entire loop. So why do that when you can just jump to the other side like that? We never really thought about that, but I guess now we did. Now the reason I didn't use Chaos Control earlier is because Chaos Control has a unique feature where it also stops things from damaging you that otherwise would. Like electricity, because when time is frozen, electricity can't move forward. And there's an enemy that's electrified over here. So I wait with my stop time and do it here instead. So I can hit him safely. Boom, like that. And I can move on. Now that's 2 enemies, which means I need 3 more. Now here's a little bit of a unique feature. So the squid has a boost, just like how the surfing in the water does. And the squid boost you can use every 1.5 seconds. But just like the surf section, if you jump, you preserve the momentum. So what I do is I squid jump to get to the other side of this pool, preserving my momentum. Now I go a little bit to the right here and then I go inwards again, because I actually don't want to end up here. I want to end up like somewhere here-ish. And this matters because you cannot brake on the squid. You're forced to go in a set speed, which means I have to go right and left to make sure I land a little bit earlier than if I were to go in a straight line. So I'm trying to aim to land here. And the reason for that is because I need to do another squid jump here. And this one is diabolical. Now I just said that I was locked into my speed. And I need to land at the ridge of this. And I don't just need to land at the ridge of this, I need to land on top of this little ledge, on this little wall over here, while I'm locked into this squid speed. So I go to the right, and then I go inwards again to make sure I land there. Boom. I land on there. I land on this wall. So to look at it again, jump here, land a little bit earlier by going right and left, jump, go right and left, boom, land on that wall. And the reason I land on that wall is because if I fall off the wall, not only do I exit the squid instantly, I also can immediately homing attack. Which means I get to kill this enemy a lot quicker. So that's why I land on that wall there, and then I immediately homing attack these guys, which gives me my chaos control. Now here's... this part is probably the hardest part in this entire game. I'm about to get chaos control. And I need to go up this spring, hit these 3 enemies, and then as soon as I get up here, I need to stomp, I need to chaos spear, I need to jump, I need to homing attack. Which is, it's cross, it's square, it's triangle, it's circle, it's R2. Yeah, that's it. 5 buttons in less than a second. You probably won't even see the switch. The switch is here. That's how fast this section needs to be inputted. So, that. Those were all the inputs. That's like a Street Fighter combo. Right there. If I go frame by frame here. From this enemy. So I homing attack the last enemy here. I boost. I stomp. To land myself on the ground. I chaos spear the switch. I jump. And I homing attack towards the spring. To let myself continue. Looks like this. Boom, and we're moving on. That shit is diabolical. That entire section, from the squid jump on the wall towards that little Street Fighter combo, it's the amount of resets it takes, bro. In the squid of it and in the ridge of it, true. The second half, one more little feature that we have to play around here is we are in frozen time at the moment. But there's 2 switches we need to hit here. But the thing is, we need to hit them with chaos spears. But chaos spears are affected by stop time, which means they won't move forward. So what I do here is I boost towards these switches. And then I'm gonna stop myself by jumping and stomping. To like go up and down, which stops my momentum. And I do that right as I'm around these switches. So I can chaos spear them reliably. Which looks like this. So I jump stomp. Right now I'm right next to the switches. And this is when I chaos spear. So again, this is cross, circle, triangle. And then boosting again. Which is, I mean, also not easy. And then I jump homing attack. Stop time there. Going towards the end of this path. Now here, we're gonna keep my stop time for a little bit. Right up until after this stomp. Now I use it. Right now I'm on a 6-second timer to make it to the box at the very distance. This is tight. This is really fucking tight. This is stressful too, because of how late into the stage you are. But I make it, I hit the box, 0.4 left. Which allows me to stop time again. And that's necessary. Up until the final stretch. Ending this stage with a 128 when it comes to this replay. Yeah, my favorite stage in the game. It's very technical, it's very difficult, it's very satisfying. I love this stage. Moving on. Mephiles.
What is this?
A lock of some sorts.
Seal of some sort?
Or the lock. Mephiles. Very cool boss. Glad he's in the game too. Run by Flawberry! We love Flawberry. There's a couple of techie things in this boss fight, but it's not a very long one.
Welcome, Shadow, to the ultimate game of Shadow Tag. Ugh.
It looks very finicky, but that's because it is. This boss is very finicky.
I owe much to you, Shadow.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I will crush you all the same.
What? Did you forget about me again?
Second phase. I can eat a cookie. I like it when I can eat cookies.
It's time to raise the curtain on this macabre play.
Create all the clones you want. I'll just take care of them all.
Consider sparing.
Don't do me any favors.
I'm disappointed, Shadow. Truly disappointed.
Did Bogger die? No. Bogger is alive. End of the boss fight.
There is no future for you. Ever.
A 128. Currently the record. Very impressive run. I tried to compete for this a little bit. I have a 129. But 128 strong. Very strong. So going over the boss a little bit. There's some unique tech in this one. First of all, he starts with this little sword from the ground. He's gonna have to hit 4 walls before he spawns a squid, which you need to attack him. But what Fla does is Fla is gonna make him hit the first wall and the second wall over there. And then he's gonna position himself in the corner. And what's gonna happen is this guy is gonna come towards Fla. And then he's gonna hit this wall. And because of the angle, he's immediately gonna bounce into this wall over here. So he's gonna hit this first, then he's hitting this. And because that counts as the 4th wall, he's gonna spawn a squid immediately. Which means Fla can immediately take the squid and damage him back. So here he comes. Boom boom. And then he takes the squid and damages him. Saving a little bit of time. Now here you're supposed to lift Mephiles up and hit him against the ball. But we discovered that you can actually just start attacking him for a while before you actually do that. Which is what he does. Now he's gonna extend that even more by using a Chaos Spear in the middle here, which resets the combo. Chaos Spear, boom, resets the combo before he moves on. And now he lifts him up, hits him against the ball. He's gonna come down. And the reason we don't actually do that entirely, all the way until his 2nd phase, is because we want Chaos Control, which we can't have. So we actually let him go into this. Because we need this for Chaos Control. So he's gonna get Chaos Control from hitting all these minions. Then he's gonna go into the squid and then he brings him to his 2nd phase. It's just a little bit of a detour because we need Chaos Control. So 2nd phase. He's gonna go into up until the air and he's gonna bring down a pillar. This is when we freeze time. We boost ourselves up. And we kill all the mini Mephilises. Which brings down this giant monster. Now he's gonna go under the ground. And he's gonna come up underneath you. So Fla makes sure that he's already there. So he comes up immediately. Instead of being on like the outer side of the ring where he would need to swim towards you first.
Don't do me any favor.
Gets out of the way. Goes for the damage. Now here we discover that if you freeze time, you can actually hit this guy under the ground. So he's gonna go in the ground. Fla's gonna freeze time and just bump into him. And this just works. Which is interesting. And then you freeze time one more time to finish the fight. It's a super quick fight. Some unique tech in it, but pretty cool. Unfortunately, that's the last we will see of Fla in the video. But just like Jerry and just like Mello, I would really like to thank you for putting in the effort to help me set this all up. Thank you for participating. Really cool. And some good times too. Very impressed. So, thank you to Fla. Alright, 2 more. 1 stage, 1 boss. The last stage.
My flame can penetrate anything.
Your boy is back. This lame dude. Wait, was that an editing mistake? It was! Fuck! You guys didn't see. Radical Highway. Probably one of the least interesting stages.
Overcome every obstacle with this power.
Because you fly a lot. My beautiful wife is back, hello. That's not true, she's mine, bro. You're third wheeling. Right. You're only the only thing you have to do here is to you have to make sure you have the right amount of rings. Because your flight actually takes away from your boost meter. And you get all those rings to preserve the boost. Here we see the same thing that we saw in Space Colony all the way at the beginning of this video, which is that we hold backwards to go forwards. I explained it a little bit earlier. But basically I'm holding down backwards on my stick to make sure I go faster forwards. It's a very weird trick, but that's just the way it works. This time too, not entirely optimized. Radical Highway's up for grabs, but that's because we don't find it the most interesting stage. Get my wings back. Make sure we grab that box for rings. And we just cruise towards the finish, basically. There we go. Up the boost. Towards the left here, because that's where we will end up. We saw the same thing happen in Rail Canyon. A lot of the tricks that we talked about earlier are make some appearances. Gotta get my boost back before I start boosting here. Same here. Up to the finish. I think I get a 31. Yeah, 231. Not bad, but definitely optimizable. A couple of things here. Not too interesting of a stage.
My flame can penetrate anything.
So first things first. You're supposed to take a bumper that takes you towards the right. But we discovered that if you just boost there, it will actually just shift gravity for you. So I can just boost there and it will do it for me. Like that. Pretty straightforward. We hit the switch there because we need to. And then we get the wings.
With this power.
And then we just fly. You just fly while making sure that we get the rings we need. Now there's a pretty difficult trick here, which is that I need to stomp on these rings, which is hard to guess, because you don't know exactly when you're flying over them. But yeah, we're just making sure we get all the rings while we cruise towards further into the stage. Sliding section, like I said, we're holding down on the stick to go forwards. Not too interesting either. Then this enemy in particular, you're supposed to shoot straight forward. We actually decided against it. Instead we push him down, because that's where we need to end up a little bit later. I don't actually even go down enough here. So I need to drop myself here for a moment to get that box. Yeah, and then from here you go to the finish. Very easy stage. Which is crazy, because it's the last stage in the game, but yeah. And then it's on to the final boss.
The time has come, Shadow.
Agreed. Time to sever this bond between us forever.
Wowie! Final boss time! Wowie! Probably my favorite boss in the game. One of my favorites in the franchise. I think this boss is amazing. Recognizable song for those who have been in the Chow Garden.
Time to unleash the ultimate power.
It's done by me. Again.
You will need to serve my will.
Playing as Shadow this time, not Blaze. I thought it was fitting for the final boss.
As you were made to do.
Defy me at your own peril. Did you think I wouldn't surpass
First big hit. All I'm trying to do in this first part is I'm just trying to hit as many balls as I can, because the balls go into his face and they damage him. So I'm looking for these balls here that I can hit, like these three, to damage him a little. There we go. Second one. And that's enough to bring him to his second phase. My favorite part of this boss fight. A little bit of a squid section, which is my staple. Onto this path, onto the rings, boom, first hit.
hollow threats from a hollow monster?
Cedo moment.
So that's what
Boom, again, go there. And now we're back. First path, second path, ring. Hit him again. It's straightforward, but it's difficult to perform. Last path. First squid jump. Take the ball here. Second squid jump. This was very high, that can be done faster. Go there, and then onto his face. But he's not done yet. Because this boss is a meanie. So he's the final boss for a reason, I guess. Now this phase of the boss is... It's incredibly steeper. You basically already won. There's no way you could possibly fuck this part up. It's like the easiest thing in the entire game. It's kind of like a cinematic finale type boss rather than an actually challenging one.
I have surpassed you. Time to
But yeah,
end
you
this
just
once and
dash
for all.
towards him. You dash into these like water droplets or whatever, which stuns him and then you can damage him. And that's basically all I'm looking for. But yeah, we just boost forwards here. It's not the most interesting. But it's nice because having an easy final boss makes for pleasant full speedruns. Although it is a little bit embarrassing if you fuck up here. Dodge this, and he's gonna do it again. Yeah, so we hit the tiers. 1, 2, 3. He's stunned. Boom, go in. Resistance is not futile. He's capping. And we go around the corner. He's gonna try to slam me again. He's gonna do it twice this time, but we just go back and forth. And then the last time. 1, 2, and boom. It's the final boss. From here on out, it's a cutscene, basically. Also, I did something for Mello. I added I Am All of Me here. Because he wanted that.
This is the
So I changed the music a little bit. Other than that, that's it. Not a lot of tech in the final couple of videos or clips. But yeah, that is as fast as we could clear Shadow Generations. Now there's 2 faster runs. At the very end there, I talk a little bit faster plays that we managed to do. One on Chaos Island and one on Space Colony. These 2 clips didn't make it past quality control, but they are faster than what you saw in the video. So hopefully you can still enjoy them regardless. Anyways, this took a very long time to set up, perform and edit. It did. So if you like what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe. And make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for being here. Bye bye. Bye bye. So yeah, on screen right now, the 2 records that were faster but didn't make it into the video. And that is basically Shadow Generations. It was super fun. It was super fun. We're trying to move on to different games. There's a couple of other Sonic games that we've been running. And it's been exciting. There's a couple of free ones if anyone ever feels like joining us. There's a couple of free ones that you can download, which we are competing in right now. Yeah, feel free. We're usually hanging out in my Discord. If you're not in the Discord, should be in the description. Yeah, it's incredibly fun to do this with people. And every evening we are running new stuff in these games, breaking them down. But yeah, took a lot longer to go over this video than I thought it would. I think it's been like 1.5 hours, but hey, if you were here for it, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That being said, when is the YouTube video you're streaming your YouTube comment? Coming, you mean? Probably soon. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave stream for today. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate that. Is Bobber dead? No, Linny. Bobber is still alive. It didn't happen yet. The question marks were to gaslight people. Linny! Linny! Gremlin did so good last week. I need to defeat the fucker. Okay, well, I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon, but... I know? You know? How do you know? Flabberry told you? Oh! He did so good! The Gremlin era is upon us, Liddy. It's time for Gremlin to perform. Anyway, you are at a awkward time, Lenny, because I was gonna stop streaming. So yeah. I just came home, you're awkward. Well, we can both be awkward, can't we? Let's see if I can raid someone. Is anyone live? No one? Okay, we're not raiding. $7:30 to 16 or 4. That's some good shift, to be honest. It's long. It's long. I hate it. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm not a normal person. Yeah, me neither. Anyway, you guys duke that out. I'm gonna go. I hope you guys have a pleasant rest of your day. And I'll see you guys next time. Alright? Bye bye, 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 bye bye.